Good evening. This is Joe Compion, the Not So Average Joe. This is the second edition of the Not So Average Joe Show. And I am once again pleased to be here. And those of you that are able to join and listen, as I explained yesterday during the inaugural show, one of the reasons that this is not your average Joe show is that first, it is a bilingual format. I will be going from Spanish and English and repeating the information that I convey not only to English speakers, but to our number of significant Spanish speaking population. They also have a role. We have American citizens that are Spanish speakers. We have people that are other have other status in our country that are also Spanish speakers. I have spent time and lived and worked in Spanish speaking countries, and so I have many relationships over there as well. So that's the other intent of the show, is to reach out to those individuals. So you're going to hear me going from Spanish into English, and and but sometimes I forget that I'm speaking one or the other, and I have to remind myself, oh, whoops, I need to start speaking in English, for example, or Spanish. So, buenas noches. Yo soy su servidor Joe Compián. Es la segunda edición de este programa. El español sería el programa de señor Compián, que no es una persona normal. Hay promedios, pero yo no soy una persona de promedios. Hay que hacer más en nuestra vida. Y, y como introducí este programa ayer por primera vez con mi estimado amigo Matt Dixon, es que la diferencia de este programa por televisión de internet es que va a ser parte en inglés y parte en español. Y la información va, yo ojalá, alcanzar a diferentes personas. Y porque si queremos crecer este país, si queremos participar en varias maneras en este país, tenemos que establecer relaciones entre uno y otro, porque en este momento sí hay especialmente mucho odio, opino yo, dentro de personas que hablan diferentes idiomas o que son de diferentes colores. So it's important in terms of our discussions, and one of the reasons why I have this bilingual program is that as a country, we have so much hate. And at different times in the history of our country, that's nothing new. We've overcome that. But I believe it's been overcome by people of faith stepping forth and saying things are not right, or this is not the right thing that we should be doing. But there always has been a healthy discussion of issues. And in that discussion of issues, we can still have our differences, but we can respect one another after we have a discussion and analyze the different challenges that we have in front of us. So it comes down to this definition of success, which I talked about yesterday. I believe, in the words of an old Baptist minister friend of mine, known as the chaplain of Bourbon Street, Bob Harrington, who's defined success as knowing what you want to do, having fun doing it, being able to pay for the trip, and not hurting anyone. En parte de este programa es hablando de manera de lograr las metas que estamos buscando, ¿no? Y para hacer eso, yo tengo que saber qué es lo que quiero hacer, y también necesito tener mucha alegría en haciendo estas cosas, y necesito poder pagar por el viaje, pagar por el equipo, ¿no? Y si lo puedo hacer. Y último es hacer estas cosas, hacer este programa en una manera para no herir a ninguna persona, a no insultar a ninguna persona. Y eso es una manera de saber y crecer. So that's the definition of success. Once again, ultimately not hurting anyone. And part of it then as well too is to understand a little more about my background, and we didn't go much into that yesterday. But why am I here? Well, I'm here because um, we have that ability in the United States to have a free press. We have the ability to talk freely with each other, and that doesn't happen in some of the places that I've had the opportunity to work, an opportunity to visit, an opportunity to travel, and spend some time, extended time periods at. And so, but it becomes important that we utilize and we take advantage of this country. Es importante utilizar las oportunidades que nos ofrece este país. Y esta es una de las oportunidades, ¿no? De poder discutir en una manera honestamente, en una manera sin peligro de que alguien me va a tocar en la puerta y llegar con rifles y sacarme y matarme. Esta es parte de la libertad de los Estados Unidos de América. Y, y he viajado, he visitado, he vivido en otros países del mundo en donde esa oportunidad no existe. So we have to be grateful for being part of this country. We have to be grateful for being citizens of this country, born here. And some of us take the naturalization route, but ultimately we are citizens and we should avail ourselves of what this country has to offer in terms of its liberties and its opportunities for us to prosper and grow, and also to have a healthy discussion and create greater ties and relationships between each other. So that's a part of me is, as I said, I was born here in a little town called Galveston, Texas. At In those days, all of us, actually, my brothers and sisters, at a hospital then known, a Catholic hospital called St. Mary's Hospital, which is now part of the University of Texas Medical Branch. And we went to school initially in Spanish-speaking Catholic schools run by nuns. I remember that kindergarten and first grade. Actually, quick story, I was too smart for kindergarten, so they immediately put me in first grade. I guess that made me a little cocky at that time. I was too smart for kindergarten, so they put me in first grade. And but those nuns knew how to take care of that cockiness, though, right? I remember not doing the homework because I was already too smart, going from that kindergarten to the first grade. And I do remember those nuns when I didn't show up that next morning with my homework, taking that ruler and just slamming it against my palm. And believe me, what's a motivating factor is pain. And I turned in my homework every morning after that. And I did not believe myself to be that smart anymore, right? Una parte de mi historia, yo soy nacido aquí en la isla de Galveston, Texas, en donde nació todos mis hermanos. Tengo dos hermanas, Sandy y Elizabeth, y un hermano que ya falleció también. Um, y para mí y mi hermana, la mayor, la escuela que empezamos era una escuela privada católica en donde hablábamos español. Y, y cuando me inscribió mi mamá en la escuela, le informaron a mi mamá porque mi mamá es una persona que nos leía y nos contaba y nos hacía los ABCs, ¿no? Alfabet. Y le dijeron y le informaron a mi mamá que yo era muy inteligente, muy avanzado para la primaria y que ya podía ir a la primer grado, ¿no? Al primer grado. Y yo, con un orgullo que pues las monjas me están diciendo que tengo mucha inteligencia, y cuando llegué ese día siguiente con la tarea y las monjas tomaron ese pedacito de madera y me pegaron aquí en la mano, ¿no? yo no me sentía tan inteligente en ese momento y ya no me dejé de pensar que era esta persona de gran inteligencia. Hasta esta fecha, ¿no? Soy una persona, yo creo que trato de oír y crecer cada día. I try to be a person ever since that adventure that continues to grow, to try to remain grounded and to really believe and understand the faith traditions that guide me in a lot of the things that I try and do in terms of my relationships. So once again, that's kind of a little background. I'm here from Galveston, but I've been fortunate that others perceive me to have some value in terms of skill sets, in terms of being considered, uh, ranking high in tests and in school and secondary school as well too, and that ended up being rewarded a scholarship to the Edmund Walsh School of Foreign Service at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., where I graduated from, and then ultimately later on continuing on to law school, initially at Texas Tech University in Lubbock. Developed some fine friendships there, but if you've been to Lubbock, and I'd never been there, I spent my first year in law school studying my butt off to try to get out of there. Not that just after having lived in Washington, D.C., Lubbock was a different place. And God bless, I loved the people. I have many dear friends there from there. But once again, I needed to get back to Washington, D.C. And once again, what's that definition of success? Knowing what you want to do. And I was fortunate that Catholic University, Columbus School of Law saw some value in me, and I continued on and finished up my studies over there in Washington, D.C. at Catholic University. Um, yo recibí mi educación en Washington, D.C., en una universidad que se llama Georgetown University, la Escuela del Servicio Extranjero. Y durante ese periodo de tiempo también estudié un año en México, en una escuela que se llama la Universidad de las Américas, en Cholula, Puebla, México. Y pasé un año allá estudiando en esa universidad y luego en recibirme de Georgetown continué mis estudios en la Escuela de Derecho y últimamente me recibí de la Universidad Católica de América otra vez en Washington, D.C. Y by the way, I forgot to mention that during that period of time at my undergraduate school at Georgetown, I had the opportunity to spend a year studying. Well, initially it was supposed to be in Spain, but they had a little problem arise over there, which at that time was the overthrow of the government. And at that time, the Franco dictatorship was the man died and there was some violence there. So I didn't end up going to Mexico. To Spain for my studies, but I did end up spending the year as my alternative backup plan in Mexico at the University of the Americas, La Universidad de las Américas, in Cholula, Puebla, Mexico. And once again, that was an eye opener focusing on the economies of developmental countries and opening myself to media in other countries and very different and people and how they thought and their fears and the power of unions in those countries as well too. That was certainly an eye-opening experience. And so this is all part of this project. No, I know what I want to do. I want to get out and talk. I seem to do that easily, as you can see. But once again, I want to do that in a bilingual format because it is who I am. It is who I am. I can easily converse with you and in English. I can converse with you in Spanish. I still try to get along in French, although that's challenging now because I don't use it as when I used to live in Europe and Switzerland. And but still, occasionally I've run into some friends recently. Friends from Costa Rica, their daughter who is taking all of her classwork in French, and we were able to have some conversation in that. Parte de lo que soy una persona bilingüe, ¿no? Y esa es la razón por la cual que tengo este programa, de de comunicarnos, de aprender, de educarnos en español y en inglés para que sepan, no limitar este programa solamente a un idioma. Y también hablo poco francés, no lo hablo tanto como antes, pero sí todavía lo hablo y me gusta hablarlo cuando tengo la oportunidad. Si uno no usa un idioma, lo pierde, obviamente. So, once again, there's a lot to talk about, and I want to start just very quickly, and we're going to get to some of these. Some of these things are what you see on the media. I don't watch a lot of television. I like to read more. I don't like to watch a lot of television because I want to do my own thinking, and I'm capable of doing that, I believe. I don't need to be influenced or permit others to do their thinking, my thinking for me, or for them to do, yes, to do my thinking for me. Is that the right? Yeah, that's the right way to say it. I'm sorry, but God gave me a mind. God gave me some brains. They're still there, and I want to be able to utilize them. I want to analyze situations. I just don't want to automatically react to things, and that's one of the reasons why I have this program. Is let's not simply react to things, y por eso tengo este programa. Es que um, Dios me dio un nivel de inteligencia, un cerebro que puede pensar. No veo mucho televisor, pero sí leo, hablo y con diferentes personas para formular mi posición, mis ideas. Y, um, y trato de evitar uh, situaciones que causan problemas para otras personas. Y eso también es importante. So, a little bit of the educational background, and then I have some professional experiences that also involve in Switzerland some in-house legal work, and then returning to do some franchise work in the real estate arena, where I was president of, when I left, Texas's largest real estate franchise organization in terms of volume of business. And then I've continued a lot of work in the nonprofit area, as well as having been fortunate to serve a period of time as a justice of the peace by appointment by um, uh, and we're going to touch upon this, but an appointment that was by uh, diverse elected officials for this position, which I was honored to serve. So, uh, parte de lo que he hecho es trabajar en Europa, en Suiza, como cónsul en una compañía que hacía transacciones con Europa y África. Y, y también regresando aquí, ser presidente de una compañía, la más grande aquí en Texas, una franquicia de bienes raíces. Y luego tuve el honor de ser también seleccionado como juez que se llama aquí Justice of the Peace, y lo hice aquí en el condado de Galveston, y, y continuando en ahora mucho trabajo con diferentes grupos sin fines de lucro. Y luego este programa, ¿no? Este programa es importante también. A ver, y espero que me pueden oír y que no hay ningún problema con la calidad del programa. By the way, my Twitter feed, if you want to send comments or something, and I'm monitoring that as well too, is Boomer Texican, and then I'm also on Facebook as Joe Compian, Compian, Joe Compian, and you can also send me some information there as well, or comments if you're so interested. Um, and then, as I said on the Twitter, it's Boomer Texican is the other manner of reaching me. So once again, this is the second edition of the Not So Average Joe Show, and um, the topic today is we're going to touch upon two topics, and one has to do with health and the importance of health and health education. Without going into great detail, I work with a lot of individuals that are both insured and uninsured. And one of the challenges, especially that I found with some members of our minority community, our Latino community, and our African American community, and then other communities just of limited means, is there's a reluctance to go see the doctor. And part of it is you only went to see the doctor when there was something really wrong with you. The concept of prevention was not something that we thought about. Uh, um, uh, Parte de la discusión hoy es de la salud, la importancia de ir ir a visitar con un médico. Y es un cambio del pasado en donde um, uno nomás iba al médico cuando se sentía mal. Lo que es importante en este momento es la prevención. Y eso es diferente. Es ir a tomar exámenes para ver si soy diabético. Eso especialmente en la comunidad latina, en la comunidad afroamericana, porque tenemos los más altos niveles de diabetes. So prevention is the key here. If you are in an age category of perhaps in your 70s, 75, and that, once again, you were brought up to only go to the doctor when you were extremely sick. And so therefore, you didn't have regular checkups. You didn't have that colonoscopy. You didn't have perhaps the prostate exams that are important. For men. And we know that among African American men, the level of prostate cancer is one of the highest. Then we also know among our Latino community and among African American community, we have some of our highest level of diabetes as well too. And so these are the reasons why prevention becomes important, and you have to get over the fact that I can't go see the doctor. That's not an appropriate answer or response, right? So the quick personal story today is that it was as a result of one of these recent exams that a dear family member was diagnosed with a rather severe affliction that we're taking aggressive action to deal with it. But the end run and the lesson learned is today you feel ill. Don't let this attitude is I can't afford medical care or I just can't do this. I don't feel sick enough to go see the doctor. That sort of attitude control your actions. If you have a little pain, go see a doctor, regardless of your age, young or old. That could be a warning from your body that there's some other major problem. I personally can tell you that I was fortunate to be seeing a doctor that thought that perhaps it was important for me when I first turned 50 to go ahead and have my first colonoscopy. That was outside the regular standard of care, right? But he said, no, let's do this. And as a result of that first colonoscopy, they discovered some polyps and were immediately taken care of. They were not malignant, thank God. And then when I had a follow-up colonoscopy here as well too, it turned out I had more polyps and they were also removed. So had I waited for the normal age to go ahead and have those exams, I probably would be facing a far more difficult situation health-wise than taking those preventive steps and getting over the fact that I need to clean my system out and perhaps suffer a day by not eating the type of foods that I'm interested in eating. Es importante tomar acción de prevención, ¿no? No déjese caer en una situación de mala salud, ¿no? Si se siente mal, va a ir al médico. Si se siente mal, la excusa no va a ser, no puedo, no tengo los dólares para ir al médico. Sí hay manera de ir al médico, sí hay diferentes grupos en donde usted puede ir a recibir servicios. Hay diferentes organizaciones en la comunidad que le pueden dirigir, darle información según donde usted vive, sea aquí en los Estados Unidos o sea en otras partes del mundo. Pero lo importante es ir a recibir y no dejar, como yo digo, saber lo que es necesario en su vida. Eso es importante. Y de eso es el tema hoy, ¿no? Que tuve un pariente que no había tomado unos exámenes, tuvo el primer examen, hoy encontraron un problema, pero vamos a tomar acción uh, para mejorarse con esta situación que le encontraron en este examen. Pero tomar acción. So take action with your health. Don't put yourself aside. Don't make yourself any less. We're all valuable children of God, and so we have the means. Don't let an attitude of I've heard various ones. Oh, I don't want to go see the doctor because it's only going to make the doctor wealthier. Well, forget about it. Get over that. Go see the doctor. That's what they're here for. And if in the process they're making a living, well, don't fault them. That's what we need to do. We didn't come here with a guarantee of infinite life, right? No estamos aquí con una garantía de una vida infinita, ¿no? Y por esa razón existen médicos, por esa razón existen hospitales, que sí hay la manera de mejorarnos, de curarnos, si Dios quiere, ¿no? Si Dios quiere, y tenemos que tomar acción para curarnos y no deje de hacerlo. So take action now. That's important, especially as I said in our Latin American community and our African American community, where we have highest levels of diabetes, and that condition is a chronic condition. It can be controlled, however, with medication, with exercise, with diet. There's ways that we can live long, healthy lives. And of course, the negative side of diabetes that it's uncontrolled is you lose your eyesight, you lose a limb, you lose your arm, your leg, right? You cause severe damage to your kidneys, and God knows we need our kidneys. There's not a lot of people hanging around that are ready to give us one, and so all of these are reasons why we should be aggressive in terms of, I believe, in terms of dealing with our health. I try to do that. It's a lesson that I had to learn as well too. Get away from work, go see that doctor, and so yeah, tomar acción para su vida, especialmente en la comunidad latina, en la comunidad afroamericana, porque ahí en esa comunidad, especialmente los hombres, ¿no? Los hombres que somos muy machos o que estamos trabajando, no tenemos tiempo para ir a hacernos estos exámenes, ahí sí sufrimos de unos niveles más altos de diabetes, de enfermedades del corazón y alta presión de sangre. Y esta es la razón por la cual necesitamos ser activos en nuestra salud, proactivos. Y los pido que hagan eso con la ayuda de Dios. So I ask that you take those steps to deal with your health. And as I said, we had a personal experience, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it with our faith. We'll get through it with the fine work. The doctors, I was always amazed. I had laser surgery. I used to wear glasses for reading glasses. It's part of what happens in life, right? as you get older. I think it's like in your 40s, and where you're holding your hand out further and further just to be able to read something. And I remember going once again and to decide I'm going to do this laser surgery. Um, and I thought to myself, how in the heck has man or God given man this ability to come up with this surgery that he's putting these things into a computer, instructions and measurements of your eye, and then in less than 5 minutes you might smell the burnt skin, but you leave and you're up and you're walking and you're immediately seeing clearly. You don't need those glasses anymore. That is a pretty heavy trip, ¿no? Importante porque Dios ha dado al hombre la habilidad de curarnos en diferentes maneras. Yo tomé y me hice una cirugía de los ojos, laser surgery, ¿no? Y temaba hacer eso, pero en realidad después de ese proceso nomás tomó 5 minutos, y sí había el olor ¿no? Yo creo la carne que se estaba quemando, no sé qué estaban haciendo con los ojos, pero sí después de salir, después de 5 minutos ya podía ver, no necesitaba usar esos lentes para escribir, y hasta esta fecha todavía, y eso ocurrió yo creo casi ya en el año 2010 o 2011, o ya se van a ser casi, ¿qué? 6, 7 años, y todavía sí tengo esa habilidad de no usar, necesidad de no usar lentes. That happened like in 2010 or 2011, and God bless, I still have no need to use glasses. So God has given man many great, so don't wait God to just say, I mean, he can say that, I'm going to heal you, but I think sometimes God works through us in our actions and what we can do and how we can help and our abilities. And so take care of your health in that regard. So those are my comments with regard to health. By the way, as part of that, I happen to also be a navigator working with a local organization and a health navigator under the Affordable Care Act. There's so much, and we're going to cover that detail in a later program. Soy parte de una organización que ayuda a personas que necesitan aseguro médico, ¿no? Bajo el acto de salud, o para muchas personas que se llama Obamacare. Y hay muchas diferentes opiniones de eso, pero necesito explicar una cosa. Cuando primero mi papá tuvo poder comprar a seguro médico, no lo podía comprar como un individuo, porque en ese momento había mucha dificultad aquí en Texas, en este país, que un mexicano americano, y mi papá nació aquí también, pudiera comprar un seguro médico. No fue hasta el momento que él fue miembro de un sindicato que él pudo comprar un seguro médico, y lo compró para él y para mamá. It's interesting, like quick story in terms of access to health insurance. I happen to also be, as I said, a certified navigator under the Affordable Care Act. And one of the myths out there is that you must buy insurance. The Affordable Care Act doesn't say you have to buy insurance. The Affordable Care Act simply says that if you don't have an insurance product that's offered to you by an employer, then you need to apply for insurance. And there are 13 different exemptions that are available to you. One of them is quite simply I can't afford to pay it because of these reasons, right? I have ongoing extended medical needs. Once again, it's a religious situation. But as long as you have applied and you have that exemption, then you can avoid the tax penalties that you'll face at the end of the year. That's what it means. There's no one forcing you, holding a gun to your head to buy insurance. And I keep hearing that over and over again. That's not the case. That's not the case. And if you have any questions, drop me a line, send me a message to Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to follow up on that item over there with regard to any questions you have with regard to access under the Affordable Care Act. Pero una cosa interesante, cuando mi papá compró esa primera póliza de seguro, él nunca lo usó porque, como estaba yo diciendo, él también pensaba que uno iba solamente al médico cuando se sentía muy mal, ¿no? Muy mal. Y él últimamente se jubiló a la edad de 62 y en ese momento también tuvo un ataque cardíaco y supimos en ese momento hospitalizado que en la póliza de seguro que él tenía nomás tenía un límite de $50,000 y él tenía 7 bloqueos de su corazón y el costo de esa operación iba a ser casi más de $300,000 en ese tiempo en St. Luke's en Houston, Texas. Y tuvo la operación, ¿no? Pero fue sorpresa que la póliza de seguro nomás tuvo ese límite. Y eso es una de las diferencias bajo esta ley, que no hay límite en la cantidad de dinero que está disponible para su salud, sea cáncer, sea situación de su corazón. That's one of the changes when my dad first had that health insurance policy under the being a member of the union. It was a surprise when he was one of those people, as I said, didn't utilize it or didn't go see the doctor until he was extremely ill. And so when he did finally retire at age 62, he suddenly found himself facing a seizure and heart problems, ultimately where it was discovered he had 7 blockages in his heart. And the cost of that was pretty near $350,000. And we discovered that the policy limits on his health policy were $50,000. Now, he got the best care possible. He had that, he survived that, and he went on to live a very long life after that as a result of that care. But that's one of the changes that has occurred under the Affordable Care Act, that there are no longer those limits in terms of coverage that are necessary to deal with the health condition that you're facing. And I think that's important. I think that's important that we have access to health plans that do not have limits on us. Now, you can still go out and buy different health programs or have access to them that have smaller limits where you're paying a smaller amount, but those are not considered health insurance. That just happens to be an interim health plan. And once again, that does not qualify you for this exemption. It's only by applying for a health insurance policy at the exchange, healthcare.gov. And it's also something to remember, you can apply at any time of the year. Especially you are able to apply if you have life-changing actions. You have a new job, you lose a job, you have a pay increase, you have a pay decrease, suddenly if you're female, you're pregnant. So there are life-changing, and just stop and think, is this change? I've been diagnosed with a new disease. That's a life-changing action, right? And so you can go to healthcare.gov, let them know, and that may impact your coverage, your access to different products. Also, remember here in Texas has not opted to expand the access to the Medicaid. So if you're under certain income, and I think it basically comes out to probably around $17,000, you still don't qualify for any of the programs because that kind of puts you in the Medicaid level. So we're still challenged as a state with regard to those coverage. Normalmente si bajo Obamacare, si usted hay cambios, tiene cambios en su vida, ¿no? Perdí un trabajo o empecé un empleo nuevo, una mujer se embarazó, condiciones de su vida que cambian, uno puede ir a healthcare.gov, ese es el sitio por internet, y luego hacer su aplicación otra vez, a ver cuáles son los nuevos beneficios, nuevos productos que están disponibles para usted y en su situación. So remember that, healthcare.gov, life-changing conditions, and once again, we'll have another program, and we'll also, as I'm learning more about, by the way, I'm broadcasting on Ustream TV. I have a channel there. This is where I'm broadcasting from. I'm learning more about the tools that are available to me, but I know that I'm going to be able to, during the course of my little 1 hour program here, which hopefully will be each day, I will be able to also pull up different things and show you on the television screen here with regard to different visual aids. We'll call them visual aids, right? They may be photographs, they may be pamphlets or information. All these things are important, and we'll try to do a better job in terms of. Leave that to me. I'm going to learn my technology here, and that's important. So I've covered a lot of stuff, and once again, I'm not shy about talking about things. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a little glass of water here. And one of the things, then we have probably about another 15 minutes on today's program, and I just want to touch upon just some of the things I've been reading and seeing on scrolling on. It's always interesting. I'm a new member to Facebook. Soy una persona nueva a Facebook. Es muy interesante ver las situaciones y ver lo que nuestros amigos en Facebook piensan. It's very interesting to see the opinions of people on Facebook. And like I said, I'm a newer person to Facebook. I respect the differences that we have. I sometimes wonder if we understand that some of the things that we post hurt people. And and I see some of that on the postings of some of my friends. Now, they are friends first and foremost. I believe we can have our disagreements, and it's a free country. You have your abilities and your freedoms to support anyone. I think that freedom comes with some responsibilities to think about our words, and if we feel strongly about something, that ultimately we understand that we can try to work for the goals that we have with regard to that particular issue, but I'm certainly going to try to avoid, as I said, I'm trying not to hurt anyone if I'm a successful person, if I'm successful in that effort. And oh, by the way, during the course of the program, I've been told, and these are one of the things that we're going to be working on. You're hearing different commercials. I am not part of that. I don't know what these commercials are. So they're not intended to be an endorsement of any of these products or items that you're hearing. Durante este programa, una cosa muy interesante, todavía estoy tratando de aprender, de conocer cómo operar este sistema. Es un canal aquí en el internet, y lo que me han dicho personas que han oído el primer programa es que hay diferentes anuncios comerciales que aparecen durante el programa. Esos no son productos que yo estoy apoyando. Yo ni sé, no sé cuáles son esos anuncios comerciales, pero es parte de participar con este equipo. Y les pido mi perdón durante este periodo de empezar este programa. Yo necesito aprender más, conocer cuáles son las herramientas que existen. And so once again, I apologize for these commercials that appear, that it's part of this programming here on Ustream TV, and I just need to learn more tools that are available to me. I know I can do this commercial free or bring in then my own different sponsors if I want that at some point. But you'll hear commercials, and I apologize, they're not commercials or products that I necessarily endorse. But more importantly, I don't even know what the commercials are. But others have told me that listened to the program when initially that it came out. So my apologies there. So having said all that, pido mi perdón de cuando ven esos anuncios comerciales y vamos a continuar con la otra discusión que hemos visto en las noticias, especialmente de los ataques a un juez de origen mexicano, que fue nacido aquí en los Estados Unidos y que uno de los candidatos para presidente tiene un caso enfrente de él y él opina que este juez federal que nacido aquí pero de descendencia mexicana no puede ser una persona imparcial en oír el caso de esta persona porque esta persona apoya construir una pared dentro de México de Estados Unidos. Y he visto muchas cosas aquí por internet y he oído leer muchas cosas ahí. And as we're closing, the last point I want to hit on is some of the recent news about one of the presidential candidates really taking on a federal judge who happens to be born here in the United States, who comes from a Mexican family background. And born in Indiana, by the way. And I want to touch upon this really quick, too, because as I said, I had the opportunity to be appointed to serve as the Justice of the Peace here in Galveston County for a period of time when a person resigned. And I guess I personally, if I had someone talking about that I was not capable of rendering a fair and impartial decision because of the color of your skin, that you happen to be Anglo, for example, or you would happen to be African American. I find that personally insulting. Now, that judge can't say anything, right? That judge can't say anything. That would be in violation of judicial ethics to respond to these attacks upon him. But I'm no longer a judge, so I can respond as to my opinion with regard to something like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. And those of you that know me, especially, I think I would turn myself in if ever I found myself sitting on a bench thinking that I am going to make a ruling and decide a case or rule in some motion based upon the ethnic background of the person in front of me, or the fact that they are perhaps a member of an organization that I disagree with. That's craziness. I never asked. That was one of the questions that came up. And so we talk about following in debate in high school, we talk about following rabbit trails. Es una tontería de este candidato para presidente diciendo que porque el señor que nació aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero de familia de México, que él no puede hacer decisiones porque el candidato de presidente, él apoya la construcción de una pared entre México y los Estados Unidos. Y es un conflicto, señor, según esta persona, ¿no? ¡Qué tonterías! Yo tuve la oportunidad de ser un juez aquí, pero Justice of the Peace, y si alguien hubiera dicho eso, pues la realidad es no puedo decir nada, porque eso es contra unas reglas de comportamiento, ¿no?, de los jueces, y ese juez federal también no puede decir nada en un momento. Pero es un insulto decir eso, que cuando yo era juez, decir, pues ¿Sabe qué, señor Compián? Usted no más puede hacer decisiones para las personas que son latinos, ¿ok? Porque usted tiene alguna opinión contra los blancos, alguna opinión contra los afroamericanos. ¿Qué tontería es eso? ¿Qué tontería es eso? Y espero que nosotros como comunidad hispana, como comunidad blanca, afroamericana, que estamos de acuerdo de eso. I hope that, it's craziness to say that I am not capable of passing judgment on other people because they are of a different color than myself, or a different racial background, a different ethnic background, which is to say then, while I was a justice of the peace, I'm only qualified to pass judgment upon those that are of a Latino background, right? Then we have a justice system where we must elect the black judge, the white judge, the Oriental judge, the Latino judge, and each one judge. What sort of country is that? That's certainly not America. That's not what I was raised with in terms of my understanding of government. And I hope that it's incumbent that all of us, that regardless of our colors, to say we can still support the man, but to say that's crazy talk. That's not anything that's going to get you elected if you support the man. It's certainly not going to be very welcoming, and it has not been very welcoming with a large segment of the community in this country that's going to get out and vote. So let's be real about this. Let's not be divisive, and I think that's where we can disagree, but there's certain things that are just so blatantly un-American. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. So blatantly un-American, at least what I understand America to be, that we should say enough. We should say, as the Italians would say, basta, basta. That's crazy talk. That's not anything that would be consistent with who we are as a people. Y nosotros en la comunidad también necesitamos expresarnos en nuestro empleo, en las escuelas, con amigos, amigas de diferentes colores. Decir, yo no estoy de acuerdo, y espero que usted tampoco está de acuerdo con estas conversaciones de este candidato. Usted lo puede apoyar, pero lo que está diciendo son tonterías. Y esa manera de pensar no es una manera de ser americano en el sentimiento de ser parte de este país, ¿no? Y últimamente vamos a tener que tener jueces para los latinos, jueces para los afroamericanos, jueces para los blancos, jueces para los orientales, ¿no? ¡Qué tontería! Eso no es este país. That does not represent what I believe, and I think many of us believe, that this country stands for. So if we don't start standing up and saying enough is enough, this is crazy. Go on, talk about some real issues. Don't worry about a wall. That's a crazy, but that's another discussion there. But talk about how we're going to create jobs. Talk about how we're going to better our healthcare delivery system. Make changes, not eliminate, make changes, and better the Affordable Care Act. It's not perfect, but we still need to have conversations in that area. And ultimately, to be successful, we as a people have to know what we want to do, and that's to say, let's stay together, let's respect one another, and let's have fun doing it together. We can cry together as well too, and we can pay for the trip, we can find the money to do these things, but ultimately we don't need to hurt each other. And I guess that's today's program. I've covered a lot of different things. I hope some of these things, as I say, they're I'm able to pay for the trip. That's why I'm here. You certainly are able, if you have the desire and the time, and I encourage you to, if you have the desire and the time, start your own program. Get out. That's one of the great things about technology now, right? And younger people not hesitant to do that. And I'm part of a generation that's catching up, that's trying to somehow take a role, find a place in this newer internet driven world that we live in. And I thank you for this opportunity. Usted si tiene la oportunidad, si tiene el tiempo, si tiene la manera de pagar por equipo y todo, también puede participar, empezar su programa. Yo le puedo mandar información cómo hacerlo, pero como miembros de este país, que somos ciudadanos, que hablamos español, necesitamos participar, y la participación para muchos de nosotros que somos de descendencia mexicana es simplemente aceptar lo que estamos oyendo. No, eso ya basta, es suficiente. Tenemos que ya decir, somos parte de este país, soy nacido aquí o me hice ciudadano y voy a participar, voy a votar. Y esta es mi posición. ¿Ok? Dios los bendiga. Hasta la próxima edición de este programa. I hope that once again, God bless you all. And until the next program of the Not Your Average Joe, we'll continue having guests upon. Thank you for the responses that I've received from different persons on the first show. Shout out to Councilman Kress. Shout out to his father, Cleveland Lane. Shout out to my good friend Matt Dixon for participating in the first show. To my brothers and sisters, to my brother, today I call him my brother Mike. My only brother James passed away, and my two sisters and my brother-in-law as well too. And most of all, of course, we can't forget my mom, right? She's that motivator. She's that person of the heart of gold. And those of you that know her know why she has instilled in all of us a desire to serve not only God, but us as a people. So once again, God bless you, and we'll look forward to seeing you. And until the next time on the Not Your Average Joe Show, see you guys. Bye.